TV7 Israel News is made possible thanks to your generous donations.
Shalom, good evening. This is TV7 Israel News, and in today's top stories, Israel decapitates Iran's top military brass. U.S. President Donald Trump leaves the diplomatic option open as Iran continues to reject getting stripped from a pathway to proliferate nuclear weapons. The U.S., France, and Britain deploy additional war assets into the Middle East in support of Israel. Israel will not stand idle as the world's leading state sponsor of terror, which openly calls for the destruction of the nation-state of the Jewish people, is seeking to attain the weapons capable of fulfilling its evil plans. Upon concrete intelligence which indicated Iran's decision to develop a nuclear arsenal and the assembly of thousands of ballistic missiles that would threaten Israel's very existence, the Israel Defense Forces, Mossad, ISA, and all of the country's other branches of security launched a surprise attack against the Islamic Republic of Iran on the night between the 12th and 13th of July, dealing a devastating blow to the Ayatollah regime, its nuclear and military infrastructure, and its command and control apparatus.
Moments ago, Israel launched Operation Rising Lion, a targeted military operation to roll back the Iranian threat to Israel's very survival. This operation will continue for as many days as it takes to remove this threat. For decades, the tyrants of Tehran have brazenly, openly called for Israel's destruction. They've backed up their genocidal rhetoric with a program to develop nuclear weapons. In recent years, Iran has produced enough highly enriched uranium for 9 atom bombs. 9. In recent months, Iran has taken steps that it has never taken before, steps to weaponize this enriched uranium. And if not stopped, Iran could produce a nuclear weapon in a very short time. It could be a year, it could be within a few months, less than a year. This is a clear and present danger to Israel's very survival. Israel will never allow those who call for our annihilation to develop the means to achieve that goal.
Israel's opening attack caught the Iranian military establishment by utter surprise.
We struck at the heart of Iran's nuclear enrichment program. We struck at the heart of Iran's nuclear weaponization program. We targeted Iran's main enrichment facility in Natanz. We targeted Iran's leading nuclear scientists working on the Iranian bomb. We also struck at the heart of Iran's ballistic missile program.
In addition, the opening blow saw Israel eliminate the Iranian military chief of staff, Major General Mohammad Bagheri, IRGC Commander-in-Chief, Major General Hossein Salami, IRGC Quds Force Commander Ismail Qaani, and IRGC Aerospace Force Commander Major General Amir Ali Hajizadeh, along with a long list of other top Iranian generals in charge of many of the Islamic Republic's most sensitive commands. Meanwhile, in response to Israel's launch of Operation Rising Lion, U.S. President Donald Trump released a statement on his Truth Social platform in which he asserted, quote, "I gave Iran chance after chance to make a deal. I told them, in the strongest of words, to just do it, but no matter how hard they tried, no matter how close they got, they just couldn't get it done. I told them that it would be much worse than anything they know, anticipated, or were told, and that the United States makes the best and most lethal military equipment anywhere in the world, by far, and that Israel has a lot of it, with much more to come, and they know how to use it. Certain Iranian hardliners spoke bravely, but they didn't know what was about to happen. They're all dead now, and it will only get worse." President Trump continued by highlighting to the Iranian regime that it is not too late for them to return to diplomacy if and only if they're willing to make a deal before there's nothing left. And while Israel's defense forces continue to unrelentingly pound at the Islamic Republic's military, nuclear, and critical infrastructure, the Ayatollah regime's Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps responded with repeated salvos of ballistic missiles toward Israeli territory, mostly over the subsequent nights since Israel launched its operation. However, despite initial efforts to focus all barrages of missiles on Israel's critical military infrastructure, the country's air defenses have thus far managed to intercept over 95% of ballistic missiles, which carry a 1-ton payload of explosive each, that had managed to penetrate Israel's aerial defenses, struck densely populated areas in central and northern Israel in particular, regrettably killing over 18 Israeli civilians and wounding hundreds of others. Meanwhile, amid reports of a shortage in blood units, Israelis are flooding medical centers to donate blood in a solid show of national solidarity.
I'm donating blood because I heard that we need more blood. And because of the war, we have many injured people, civilians, and they need my blood.
And I got a message on my phone that they needed the blood. And listen, we have a lot of people that are injured. So many people don't have proper protection from the bombs. And so they do the best they can to protect themselves, but they still get injured. And so the least I can do is give some blood. That's the very minimum.
Despite claims by the Ayatollah regime that it was hoping to reach an arrangement with the United States and Israel to push for a ceasefire of sorts, it continues to refuse any commitments to ending its enrichment program, and its parliament, albeit unbinding unless Ayatollah Ali Khamenei approves it, announced its decision to end its affiliation to the Non-Proliferation Treaty. Asked whether he was concerned about the latest developments, however, U.S. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth told Fox News the following.
This is not some sort of a perspective where we're worried or concerned. We're vigilant. We're prepared in a strong defensive posture, while the president continues to say to Iran, hey, you have an option for peace. It includes, various aspects of what's been discussed. Iran knows. They know they can come back. They're making their own decisions right now, and we hope they would choose a negotiated option. The U.S. is postured to defend our people in the region. We've got significant assets in the region. We are robustly postured to ensure that our people, our bases, our interests are safe, and we're continuing to monitor any forces we would need to do that, capabilities we would need to do that. We will keep Americans safe.
In addition to U.S. support to defend Israel, with separate indications that U.S. President Donald Trump is expected to grant CENTCOM a green light to turn its defensive posture into an offensive campaign, Britain and France are also voicing unequivocal support for Israel, with the French Foreign Minister Jean-Noël Barrot blaming Iran for violating all of its commitments.
Le programme nucléaire Iranien est une menace.
Iran's nuclear program poses an existential threat to Israel's security, but beyond that, to European security. We have always said that the best way to prevent and contain this nuclear program is through diplomacy. We took note of the Israeli government's decision to conduct these military operations, which we did not support or participate in, and we now call on all parties to exercise restraint and to open these negotiations, leading to a genuine, credible rollback of this program. Iran has violated all the commitments it made when, 10 years ago, we reached an agreement to restrict its ability to acquire a nuclear weapon. Today, Iran is on the threshold. It is capable because of considerable developments in its nuclear program. Because of the considerable development of what we call its ballistic missile program, that is, its capacity to send missiles more than 2,000 kilometers away, it is on the threshold of being able to strike Israel, countries in the region, and possibly French territory.
Israël, des pays dans la région, et possiblement le territoire national.
It is important to highlight that France and Britain have ordered a number of war vessels into the Middle East, while the United States is deploying the USS Nimitz carrier strike group into the CENTCOM area of responsibility, in addition to other serious defensive and offensive platforms. Thank you for watching TV7 Israel News. If you're blessed by our productions, which are exclusively donation-based, since TV7 Israel is a non-profit ministry, I would like to encourage you to support our programming with a donation. You can do so via our website at www.tv7israelnews.com. I'd like also to take this opportunity to encourage you, pray for the current situation, for the ongoing war between Israel and the Islamic Republic of Iran. Pray for the innocent civilians, including, of course, the hostages that have now endured so many hundreds of days in Hamas captivity. Pray also for the troops, the IDF forces, Mossad, ISA, for the U.S. service members, as well as European allies who have also joined in defense of Israel. And last but not least, pray for the peace of Jerusalem and salvation of Israel. I'm Jonathan Hassan, wishing you an Erev Mevorach, and God willing, we'll see you during our next update. Until then, Shalom from Jerusalem.